Hi everybody, I'm Bill Sanders and this is Watch Art Sci, the art and science of watch collection. I was asked to do a video on sports watches and I gladly accepted that invitation, but there are so many sports watches. I mean, it's like, where do you start with them? And so what I did, I decided to start with the case. One watch that I've always liked, I'm sort of one of those like and not liked watches. I like them very much because they're so well built, wonderful case and so forth. And I've never been happy with the fact that they didn't make their own movement. That may be changing, we'll see about that. But for now, they turn out to be a great buy for a sports watch. This is the Bremont Supermarine S300. Now I say that because there was a new ownership or new CEO that took over Bremont not too long ago, and the watches that they had, I guess there was some kind of thing in there. So there happened to be a lot of Bremont watches on the secondary market, many of which are brand new. And I found one source for them at a place that we've talked about before called the Watch Outlet. And the Watch Outlet, the one that I like, this Supermarine S300, $3,795 was the MSRP, $1,799 was the offer. Now, the layered Bremont case is the essence to me of a sports watch. You want to have a case, a tough case, and for sort of rough and tumble kind of watch, not something for a more genteel. However, sports watches are everywhere. I mean, you see people that they wear them to work, they wear them to weddings, you name it. You can find sport watches. But here I'm just going to talk about sports watches sort of as a range of them from the least expensive to the much more expensive. But I think the best ones are on the lesser expensive simply because they're real sports watches. Now, some other ones, people just like the style of a sports watch, and that's fine. So this is the one I'd like to start with. Now, this is the caliber is BE92AE, which is based on an ETA 2892A2. And automatic 4 hertz, 300 meters, that's 980 feet down, 36-hour reserve. You'll see a lot of the reference to X number of meters. I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, if you're doing deep sea diving, some of these things, and a lot of them they refer to as divers, which simply means they have I think they're more useful way down deep. But the reality of it is most so-called divers are actually desk divers, okay? Somebody at their desk at work and they got a diver on. If you go to a dive shop, you see a totally different set of watches, most of which are quartz or smart watches or something like that. Okay, so check out, if you're interested in a sports watch, I think is a really tough one, a very good one for a great price. Check this one out. Now, this next one, this is a Rolex Oyster Perpetual 41 in pistachio. I saw this and I thought, boy, I like that watch. And so $66.50. Now I know that's not cheap by any set of the imagination. It's probably the entry level though, I mean the bottom entry level for a Rolex. So I saw this, I thought, well, I like this watch. I'm going to see how available they are. So I looked it up and there was this one for $66.50. That was what was advertised on the Rolex site. So I found this place, it's called Mayer's, And um, I, I just thought it was some online site, and I could, whistle it up and see if it was available. And well, it didn't work like that. A lot of Rolex owners complain about how they're treated or mistreated by ADs. I it would be something that for a sports watch, the Rolex is ideal in this respect. They have the Oyster Perpetual case, and the Oyster Perpetual case was made for so you could take it underwater. I don't. This one has 100 meters, 330 feet underwater. You could take it, which is more than enough for me. I imagine that some of their other ones, like the Submariner, probably has a deeper one. A lot of people complain. 100 feet, 330 feet. That's a lot. So, anyway, one of the things that I always wondered about Rolex is how come more of them don't have exhibition windows? Well, I think that what I was told is that the Oyster Perpetual case, they don't want to. When you start putting more crystal in, you got places that may leak. Well, that sounds reasonable. So anyway, but this is another one, and like I said, this is a very entry level, but availability is a whole other matter with Rolex. So I'll just leave it at that. And if you like Rolex, there's tons of them out there. Now, this next one, I thought, well, I'll take a look at some German watches and see what they have. A lot of guys I know who are German watch fans say you got to see a Sin. And the caliber, this one is called the U1 Caliber SW 200-1. This is a Solida caliber. The good thing about it, they don't make any bones about it, or they don't try to call it something that it isn't. 4 hertz automatic animatic as per DIN 8309. Now, one of the things that's interesting about this particular watch is that it's made from submarine steel. There's a place called ThyssenKrupp Marine Systems, and they went there and they got the same steel they're making subs with. So, that will give you a great sports watch. Now, the MSRP on this one was €2320, about $27.19 US dollars. I found one on eBay for $1,400. Good one. And this is the other thing. I found another German watch I thought I'd take a look at. This is the Damasco DK20, also submarine steel. And one of the things they said about this that I hadn't really thought of is that if you have something made out of submarine steel, you probably have something that's going to last pretty well in salt water. And so if you're going down to the shore or the beach or wherever, and you want a watch that you can wear while you're out on the water, this one is got how they describe the case is submarine steel, bead base, surface hardened, case back and fixed bezel, screwed crown into the case according to the Damasco system. I'm not sure what that is. With crown protection, waterproof 20 bar, 200 meters, low pressure resistant, sapphire crystal flat anti-reflective coating on both sides. Now this watch is at the place called the Watchman with 2 N's on man. This one I found for $1568. Sounds like a great one to me for doing it. Now the movement, they call it a caliber A26-1. And then I read that it was based on an ETA 2824. So if you're worried about in-house or not in-house, that's the best information I could get on it. But I like the looks of this for a sports watch. And I'm thinking real kind of thing you go out and bang around. You may get it wet. You don't care about it. This everyday kind of thing that was sports. I could see one of those for a rough game of pickleball. Now, here are a couple that are more mainstream, but very, very good prices. A Tissot PRX 775, and then a Seiko 434 automatic GMT. That's dual time. This one was $380. Now these two I found at a place called, I think it was just called Teddy's, Telly Battersea or something like that. But I mean, like if you want to watch a sports watch for just, I mean, without breaking the bank, both of these are very good ones. The Seiko 5, I have a Seiko 5, and they're interesting watches. My Seiko 5 is doing just fine. I don't use it too much. It only if I have to go do some gardening or yard work or something. It's my go-to watch. That's sort of the nature of my sport so far. Automatic, Powermatic 80 on the Tissot PRX. The Powermatic 80 I like. The reason I like it is 3 hertz. What they did, they took a 4 hertz one and sort of cut it down from 28,800 down to 21,600 semi-oscillations per hour. I like that. And this one has one of those. The Seiko, on the other hand, they've been making the Seiko 5 since I think it's 1967 or 63, something like that. And this one is definite sports for if you're going cross country or something cross time zones. This would be an amazingly affordable one. Now, these next two, these are more, again, going back to people say, well, they want to get a better sports watch. They don't want just a regular one. They want one that they can use sort of as a more general one and wear all the time if they want to. And here are a couple. One is the Tudor Black Bay 68 that I like, caliber MT 5601-U. Thing about it, the Tudor's calibers are made in a place called Canesi. Well, the name of the movement, or the movement maker is Canesi. That's part of this big factory that Tudor owns. And the interesting thing about Canesi, it's co-owned with Chanel. Chanel gets all of their J6 movements there, and the J6 movement that Chanel has for their J6 is, J12 is the caliber MT601 fixed up so it looks more Chanel. You know, that's another watch that you might want to take a look at because it is a sports watch, and that's a Chanel J12. Interesting watch, I think. Anyway, the Tudor Black Bay, these are the MSRPs I found on it. The Tudor was $48.50. Now the other one is Omega Seamaster, and I don't know why, but I've always liked the Seamaster. Always have. I mean, I've always admired the Moonwatch, the Speedmaster, and some of the other ones by Omega. Somehow there was something about the Seamaster I always liked. This one is the Omega Seamaster Aquaterra, 150 meters. This is how far down you can go, which is plenty of room for you. This was defined as an Omega Master Chronometer caliber 8800. One of the things, this has the coaxial escapement in it by George Daniels, which I really like a lot. 6300, and again, both of these are going, you sort of upscale with the sports watches. The next one, now this is sort of like going into the more modern, which are called luxury sports, even into high horology. Now, both of these are steel, and so we're not dealing with the gold ones or the other ones that get, become less of a sport and more of a luxury. The newer ones by H. Moser, and Parmigiani for that matter, but the ones by H. Moser I really, really like for a couple of reasons. First of all, they seem to have a lot more fun with the designs and the colors, even though the caliber movement in it is the same ones that they use in, I'll say, their more serious watches. And this one, with sort of a orange fun strap to it, I really like it. Now, 18,700, now you're dealing with a whole new atmosphere, so to speak. But the caliber HMC 201, automatic standard high horology in-house caliber by H. Moser. Now, the other one is the Parmigiani Fleurier called Tonda Sport. It comes with a fabric band for it, automatic PF 77 770 automatic 60-hour reserve. Now, the thing about this, here you have a Parmigiani, a movement designed by Michel Parmigiani. And it's a very elegant as far as a sports watch is concerned. But on the other hand, it's got a fabric band that you're not going to wreck or anything like that, just like the rubber band that you have on the H. Moser. Expensive. Okay, now this next one, if you're looking at, you want to go higher up on it. This one I found to be fabulous. It really is. Now it's a big boy. It's like 42 or 45 millimeters, so it's a big one, big steel watch. I've had one of these, and they are a sports watch, no doubt about that. But what a watch! First of all, they have a Geneva seal. None of these other watches, except one we'll look at in a second, has a Geneva seal. These are started because they're not making this particular model anymore. They start around $15,000-$20,000 bucks. That was the MSRP. The offer I found on this was $4,731 on Chrono 24. That was the best one I could find. There may be other ones. But this watch, I mean, here you have a movement by a top watchmaker and Roger Dubuis. The Caliber RD 620. It's got a micro rotor to it. Big watch. Like I said, these are a big one, and so there's probably a bigger guy or a guy who doesn't care how big or small his watches are. This is really something. I think it's 4731. When you compare that to other watches from, I guess you'd call high luxury sports watches, this thing takes the cake even before that price comes up. Now, the final thing I want to talk about just shortly is the original holy trinity of sports watches. Sort of the idea of these top watches like Audemars Piguet, Patek Philippe, and Vacheron Constantin ever being a sports watch. This was like, it was horrors to have a sports watch from this kind of watch. But they did, and these really, kicked things off. And I think Audemars Piguet with their Royal Oak Jumbo was the first one. But the prices now are just astronomical. $37,900 for that great watch. I'd love to have one. Patek Philippe Nautilus, $34,116. And the funny thing about this, Patek Philippe's is 35 millimeters, but then they have one for 41 millimeters in the Nautilus. There's $77,000 in white gold. I don't know why they did that, but they did. So if you like them a little smaller, the steel one, $34,116. Now, the final one is Vacheron Constantin overseas. I had one of these, but what I paid for it a long time ago and the version that they had, it wasn't anywhere near this. This is the only one of these three with the Geneva seal. A lot of reason behind that, but we'll leave it at that. 26,800, and so suddenly it's looking like a bargain. Whenever 26,800 looks like a bargain to anyone. Anyway, that's sort of a quick overview of sports watches. I didn't cover sports chronographs. I'm going to do that next time. In the next video that's coming up, vest pocket video. Anyway, I know I'm going to hear this. I can't believe you didn't include. Go ahead and say it. That's okay, because I know it's going to happen. And you'll probably have some great ideas too. Let me know what you think. Opportunity to subscribe if you like. Until next time, this is Bill Sanders for Watch Outside, the Art and Science of Watch Collection.